Hello, this is Angel with E24 Land here to give you all a video overview of one of our newest properties in Fort Garland, Southern Colorado, Costilla County. You won't want to miss hearing about this, so be sure to stick around. But before we get started, I want to remind you to please like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date with our property listings. You can also check out our website, e24land.com, to see all of our properties in the various states. And then lastly, you'll definitely want to subscribe to our VIP email list to get early notifications of the properties as they become available. I will add all those links into the description below. Okay, so this property that I'm talking about today is a 5.268 acre parcel of land in Fort Garland, Colorado, Costilla County. We have another YouTube video that I will link in the description as well that talks about where is Fort Garland, where is Costilla County, and I highly recommend watching it. It gives more general information about the geography in relation to other cities and drills into the area in which this property exists that we're talking about today. So this lot is a beautiful lot in the foothills of the Sangre to Cristo mountain range, as you can see. It's in a cul-de-sac. It runs with a slight slope from front to back. Great views. And here you'll see the elevation profile. It runs approximately 8,426 feet to 8,503 feet front to back. You're going to catch sunrises and sunsets combined with those majestic mountain views for miles like you've never seen before. So there is another. Okay, here's a satellite image. Something else unique about this property is in the lower elevations, you don't have trees, but here you're going to have trees. You're going to have pinyon pines from 8 to 12 feet in height, along with some scattered sagebrush to add some color and texture. So this is a really nice spot for building or for camping. In this video, I'm going to give some high level and satellite images of the area so that you can get your bearings, and some Google Maps to get to the highway or town. But we also have some exciting video from ground level and aerial footage of the property. Okay, so let's begin. Down here is Costilla County, but I wanted to give a broader image of Colorado for geographical context of where the property is, and point out that Fort Garland and San Luis, Colorado are going to be your two main towns that if you're traveling to and around the property, those will be the two towns that you will go through. They're about 15 minutes apart, but and straight up and down Highway 159. But I also wanted to point out that Denver, Colorado is about 3 hours to the north. Colorado Springs is about 2 hours. Pueblo is about an hour and a half, and then eventually you'll come down to La Vida Pass, and all those on Highway 125. And then from there you get to Fort Garland. If you're coming from the south, then it's Taos and about an hour to San Luis, Colorado, and then add another 15 to 20 minutes to get to Fort Garland. So I'm going to zoom in here. Okay, so for general orientation, you're going to have Highway 159 right here running north to south from Fort Garland to the New Mexico border, and then it becomes New Mexico 522. Or you're going to have 160 running east-west, La Vida Pass out to Alamosa over here. And again, you would subtract or add mileage to your time based on where you're going to, and then figure just another 15, 30 to 40 minutes to the property, depending on where you are in the mountains. Some of the stuff in the foothills, that's going to be a little bit closer. Some of the stuff that's high up in elevation or deeper in the mountains, it can take you a little longer to get there. So if you're going to stay somewhere, generally you would stay in the Alamosa area if modern amenities are a priority for you. It's got hotels, shopping, tons of restaurants, and certainly plenty of camping, and that's about 25 minutes west of Fort Garland. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more to Fort Garland with Google Maps. So let's switch over. So here you're going to see that the property is about 15 miles from Fort Garland. There will be some other routes you can take that are back roads. But if you go just straight out the neighborhood and up 159, it's going to be 15 minutes, which will be the quickest route. Then if we want to see how long it takes to get to San Luis, which is the other main town we've been discussing, you are looking at 21 to 25 minutes, depending on the route. You can see that right there. Let me zoom back out, make sure you can see it all. So yeah, and then also on the map, I want to show you the Mountain Reservoir. This is a place where, so another 18 to 20 minutes, depending. This is about 5 miles though from Fort Garland, and it's anywhere between 130 to 1,000 acres. There is some discrepancy in the sources, but it's a cold water lake on the western side of the Culebra and the Sangre de Cristo ranges, fed by Ntnl Creek, but also used as an irrigation reservoir. So the water levels may vary within here. It is stocked. Here, I'll zoom in a little bit more to the reservoir. There we go. It's stocked with trout throughout the summer. Also a nice spot for northern pike, large and smallmouth bass, and bluegill, crappie, and catfish. The camping area, there is a camping area. It's a nice beach, but only wakeless watercraft are permitted here. It's managed by the TIC, which is the Trinchera Irrigation Company. In years for drought, the reservoir has dried up in the late summer, but the TIC has been working on funding for upgrades for projects over the past few years. So again, 5 miles from Fort Garland, 18 to 20 from the property. And then there's another reservoir to mention. That is going to be Smith Reservoir. And that is, zoom back out. That is over here. There we go. That's about 278 acres, and this is where you'll go waterfowl hunting. So, and again, this is anywhere between, depending on the route, you know, you start over here, you're looking at about 27 minutes. Up here is 24, and then the longest route, of course, is going all the way up to Fort Garland and back down. That's going to take you 29 minutes-ish. So, just wanted to point out those areas. Something else I wanted to point out real quick is this Juarez Road. It's kind of a main service road that runs parallel to Highway 159. Cell reception out in this area is pretty good, so a lot of times if you're using directions, it'll pick up with Juarez Road. So yeah, that's that. So let's get out of directions. And okay, so you see how Highway 159 is running north to south. Over here in the west is considered the flats or the San Luis floor. Most of the properties in this area are going to be flat elevation at 7,500 to 7,800 feet, most between 7,700 and 7,800. Then there's lots of farmland, all these circles. This is farmland. It's a fertile valley. They're being irrigated by the two reservoirs in the area. So you've got the Mountain Reservoir and the Smith Reservoir that we talked about earlier that feed the farmland in the area up to the north. 10 to 12 miles north of Fort Garland is, let's see, Mount Blanca. And then, so Mount Blanca and then Mount Lindsey, that has a number of high mountain peaks in that cluster right there. Then just a little bit past, you're going to find the Great Sand Dunes National Park and Reserve. This is a great day trip. It's maybe 25 minutes north of Fort Garland. You can go there, spend a couple of hours playing around in the sand dunes and go back down. So let's see, back to 159. Now to the east of Highway 159, you start to get in the foothills of the Sangre de Cristo range. Start to see a little bit more texture in there. It's not real high, not real dramatic slopes, a little more gradual, but we're starting to get into that area. So to the east here, like we were saying, or like I was saying, is the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. I was already pointing to this. This is the Sangre de Cristo Ranches. This was developed by Forbes in 1971. Within here, there are about 7,900 lots. Most are around 5 acres. That's the minimum. But there are some that range up to around 30. In total, there's about 56,000 acres with 4,600 acres for green space. In the Sangre de Cristo ranches, most will range from 8,500 to 10K in elevation. Properties above 10,500 or up exist, but they're pretty rare. We actually do have a 6.9 acre property in the higher elevation with beautiful aspens, so I can put that down in the links below. When you get into the foothills, you'll start to see more of the pinyon pines that average 10 to 20 feet, but they can grow as high as 30. And then the higher elevations, you'll get to the taller trees, ponderosa pines, spruce and fir, and beautiful aspens. So the only other thing that I will point out, I'm going to put into the descriptions, but there's a lot out here for skiers. We've got the Wolf Creek ski area, Taos Ski Valley, the Great Sand Dunes National Park, which I pointed out, the Rio Grande. So I'm going to put a little more information about that in the description. Thank you for hanging out today, and please comment below if you have any questions. And again, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now here's to the exciting part where you'll get to see some ground floor video and some aerial footage by drone of this amazing property. Talk to you soon. Bye.